say you wanna watch a drama. You say you wanna watch a comedy. Well, you can watch it with your mama, or you can watch it with your daddy.
You'll even sit and watch it with your middle schooler, so you can come and talk around a water cooler. We're watching all day and all night.
Couch potatoes unite.
Whoa, whoa.
Couch potatoes unite.
Whoa, whoa. Couch potatoes unite.
Hello, and welcome to a brand new episode of the podcast entitled Couch Potatoes Unite! Exclamation point, which is based on a blog of the same name because what's in a name? Who is God and who is the devil in the end? It all seems so supernaturally penultimate and existential, apparently. My name is Kylie and I love TV. If you feel the same, keep listening and or checking out our website, couchpotatoesunite.wordpress.com, as you're bound to find some common ground or something you like. For Couch Potatoes Unite, we're all about the wonders and the unique long-form storytelling of the small screen. CPU, exclamation point, is basking in that autumn glow and hopes you've been following releases of brand new episodes of the podcast on Wednesdays, as well as new blog entries on some Tuesdays. And as always, we have several more new episodes on the way. Because the panels and I live lives behind our podcast, the episodes are published once per week. Subscribe to the blog or the podcast via iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and via Google Play to stay on top of brand new episodes. Episodes already published discuss a variety of shows around the water cooler, including, but not limited to, The Crown, Once Upon a Time, A Series of Unfortunate Events, Fuller House, Westworld, American Horror Story, The Good Place, and Grace and Frankie. Plus, new episodes are in the works, including revisits for Doctor Who, Gotham, Schitt's Creek, Arrested Development, Game of Thrones, Will and Grace, Stranger Things, iZombie, Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Orange is the New Black, 13 Reasons Why. The Marvel's Defenders panel will talk Season 2 of The Punisher, and the DCTU series panel will talk the 4th seasons of Supergirl and of Legends of Tomorrow, respectively. We'll be launching new panels covering Jane the Virgin, The Americans, Riverdale, The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, Altered Carbon, Mr. Robot, and Charmed. And because we look back at shows now past, we'll take a smallish look back at a short-term show from some kind of yesteryear called Freaks and Geeks. We'll don witch hats and bring out our Salem cats for Sabrina the Teenage Witch, and we'll revisit one of the all-time and most watched classic sitcoms, MASH, which is surprisingly popularly requested. Though I don't know why I'm surprised. By the way, did you know that CPU also from time to time goes live? We've been live from bunkers and comedy shows and Comic-Cons, and we just went live from Blue Bridge Games to take a shiny look back at Firefly. Plus, we're planning more live appearances and other cool stuff, so make sure you like or follow us on our Facebook page, our Twitter at CPU Podcast, our Instagram at Couch Potatoes Unite, or subscribe to the blog, our YouTube channel, our iTunes channel, our Stitcher Radio channel, or find us on Google Play. In the meantime, if you don't hear your show in this podcast format, fellow panelists and I still write reviews, and we always seek new panelists. So if you have any interest in joining the discussion, say hello by finding us at any of those outlets I've mentioned. At the very least, stop by and leave us a thumbs up, comment, or review. We like feedback, just don't start an apocalypse over it. Who do you think you are, Chuck? Today we're around the water cooler and discussing the second half of season 14 of Supernatural, the 14th season finale of which aired on April 25th, 2019. Supernatural is an American dark fantasy television series created by Eric Kripke. It was first broadcast on September 13th, 2005 on the WB and subsequently became part of successor to CW's lineup. Starring Jared Padalecki as Sam Winchester and Jensen Ackles as Dean Winchester, the series follows the two brothers as they hunt demons, ghosts, monsters, and other supernatural beings. The series is produced by Warner Brothers Television in association with Wonderland Sound and Vision. Our Supernatural panel, that is frequent panelists Nick, Jen S., Kelsey, Jeremy, and Jen K., triumphantly return to the water cooler, ready to discuss the now penultimate, can you even believe it, goings-on of this epic long-running series about the two monster-hunting Winchester brothers. Ready as we always are to hit the road in our trusty 67 Chevy Impala named Baby and to get started. It should as always be noted that all of our panelists have viewed the entire series through the 14th season finale of Supernatural to date and may discuss sensitive plot points. So if you haven't watched any Supernatural and plan to catch up at some point, listen at your own risk as there are going to be major spoilers. Welcome back, panel. How are you?
Great.
Good.
Good.
Perfect.
Okay. Are you ready to talk about the second half of Supernatural, season 14.
Yeah.
All right. You're so excited. Yes. It's brimming with enthusiasm. I can't even believe just how excited you are. I hope that's not foreshadowing. But because we have to do this thing that we call the CPU standard character question, which changes with each show we do, I'm going to ask you to double check your temperature because, as we all know, sometimes a show can take turns for the better or the worse in our heads or can continue its awesomeness or lack thereof depending upon its story evolution.
He's looking at me.
Well, Jeremy, you've had some ups and downs. And perhaps there'll be more ups and downs for everybody this time. But what I like to do is have you rate your interest in the show as of the end of season 14. I have tweaked only very little bit this time, the character question, because really they didn't change that much this season, although there are things we'll talk about. So how do you feel about season 14B, or how do you feel about Supernatural after season 14B, and after watching it thus far? Do you watch it because hunting is your life, and or because you love the show, hunting, and or the show about hunting? For you, it's keep grinding until the end or until you die. Also, you're really into Baby, that is the Impala, Most Fried Meats, the awesome use of classic rock and pie, or you watch it because you feel as though you have no other choice. It's as if you are possessed, and you need to know how it all ends, like Dean Winchester, sometimes Apocalypse World Archangel Michael. Do you watch it because you are reluctantly convinced to watch this show about the lives of two brothers demon hunting, but now you can't imagine your life without the show or demon hunting? Or you watch it because you feel as though you have no other choice. You need to know if the brothers Winchester will survive or die together as they always hoped, like Sam Winchester. Do you watch it because your best friend watches it, and or because your best friend is deeply committed to hunting, and even though you shouldn't really be involved with his or her actions or decisions, you trust your best friend's judgment and moral center? Also, even when you think you want to stop watching it, or are forced to stop watching it for some external influence or reasons, something always manages to pull you back no matter how improbable. You're basically along for the supernatural ride, though you secretly enjoy it, like Castiel. You don't know what to make of it anymore. You're trying to adjust to a new normal, and or only started watching it late in the show's life. All you know is that you need to watch it. It's comfortable to you. The Winchesters and Cass are like family to you, and you love them because of it. That is, when the show and also you have a soul, like Jack. Or you don't want to watch it or don't watch it anymore. The show's evolution has caused you pain, and you find it a chore to keep going. For whatever reason, you are exceptionally and only drawn to the Lucifer character, particularly as played by Mark Pellegrino, or spoiler, you died, maybe, like Nick, the artist formerly known as Lucifer. Who would like to start?
Your descriptions are difficult, Kylie.
Does that mean you're starting?
I guess, but I haven't really... I'll figure it out as I go, I guess.
Okay.
Wait, which one's Sam and which one's Dean?
Who are you first?
My name's Nick.
Hi, Nick.
They know who I am.
Are you sure? You said no for the record.
I shook my head.
Last time you were Jack, because you just needed to talk it out. You really struggled with it.
Oh, that makes me feel like I'm in the same spot. I will say I enjoyed watching this season. We'll discuss things that happened in it, but it's at least was entertaining and not predictable and falling into a pattern. But yeah, I'll figure it out as we discuss it then.
Well, but then which character are you?
I'll stay with Jack, because I'm confused.
Okay. You don't know what to make
I don't
of it.
have a soul.
Aww. Well, welcome back, Nick, the soulless.
Thanks.
This is Jen S.
Hi, Jen S.
Hello. I think I was Sam and Dean last time.
You were a mix of the two of
I'm
them.
probably the same.
Okay. Why do you say that?
Because I just got to see how this is going to play out.
Fair enough.
Are they
Welcome
going to
back.
be together? Die together, live together, whatever is going to happen.
Okay. Fair enough. Welcome back, Jen S.
Thank you.
Oh, I guess I'll go next. I'm Jeremy.
Hi, Jeremy, the reluctant.
Last time I was Castiel and Lucifer.
That's a cross between the two, which is hard to do.
It's very angelic. This time I think I'm more of Castiel and Jack. I don't feel quite so negative about the season, although I really feel like if it wasn't for the podcast and actually mostly Kylie watching it, I probably would be watching something else instead. But I also find that once I get a couple episodes in, I'm more like Jack, and it feels like home. It's natural, it's easy to watch, and I do enjoy it.
It's supernatural.
Oh, we got dad jokes over here.
Welcome back, Jeremy.
This is Jen K.
Hi, Jen K.
Hi. I think Was I Jack last time?
Last time you were a mix between Castiel and Lucifer, which really, for you and Jeremy, should have been Jack, but you were insistent on those two individuals.
We're jaded.
Apparently. I think this time around, I think I'm Jack, but I will say towards the season finale, especially for the last episode, I spiked up to Sam, because it was probably one of the better season finales that I've seen for a while in Supernatural, in my opinion.
Wow. Welcome back, Jen K. Well, there's going to be spicy and feisty, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, hi, I'm Kelsey.
Hi, Kelsey.
Hi.
Last
I don't
time you
remember
were
who I was
Dean.
last time.
You were Dean last time. You loved the first half.
Dean last time? I did? Yeah, I did. That's right. Yes, I did. I feel like I'm Jack this time. I got really mad at a lot of things. But I still feel like the characters feel like family and like home, and I will continue to watch it.
Welcome back, Kelsey.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And of course, my name is Kylie, and I moderate and participate on this panel. Of course. Last time I was Dean. I'm going to slightly stray from that because I've always been Dean, but I'm going to actually mix Dean and Sam this time.
Oh, go figure.
Yeah.
We're twins.
Yeah.
Super fangirl.
Well, I mean, yes, super fangirl, but also I have feelings, and they're not super positive by the end of this season. It was going in a direction I liked, and then it took a turn that I didn't like, and it kept on that direction that I didn't like, and then it ended in a place
That you didn't like?
that I didn't really like, based upon all the things that have happened in the past.
I think that maybe we share feelings on that.
Quite possibly. So I'm going to put Sam in there because I wasn't reluctant to watch the show, but I do feel at this point I'm committed and I'm going to the end, and I still love Dean. I love all the things about Dean, but the show kind of, I don't know where they're going with this end of season, but I hope that it isn't in a place that makes me regret Supernatural in the end and all the years I've put into it. And we'll talk about that. In fact, it's time now to reflect on Season 14B. We, of course, already covered Season 14A during the mid-season. Back then, that's when Dean was occasionally possessed by Archangel Michael. He's still a little bit possessed by Archangel Michael, though not for very long in the second half. And then it takes all kinds of interesting and twisty turns. So what did you think of Season 14B? What did you like and what didn't you like? It might be easier to start with what you liked, but you go forward. Go forth and conquer!
I liked the nostalgia from the characters that were coming back.
Okay. Are you specifically referring to the 300th episode or just in general?
In general.
Okay.
Not necessarily like the Winchester dad, John coming back, but no, just in general. Even Chuck, I guess.
Even Chuck, you guess?
Yeah.
Well, we've been wondering where Chuck has been this whole time.
Playing racquetball or skee ball somewhere in the Jersey Shore. Dogma reference.
Chuck is really Alanis Morissette this whole time.
That would be so anticlimactic.
What a twist ending. We didn't see that coming.
Except in Dogma.
I was going to say, Zachariah also made an appearance, which I was not expecting.
Well, that was also in the 300th episode, so maybe Zachariah, Kurt Fuller's angel. Yeah. So maybe we should talk about the 300th episode. Right. So what did we think of the 300th episode?
I thought it was good. Even though I was really excited to get a John Wayne Gacy episode, I thought that was going to be interesting. I wasn't paying attention that was the 300th that had started, so
right, same here.
That, I was almost disappointed how that resolved itself pretty quick. But I did enjoy getting the family together and watching that episode play out.
I cried many tears. That was my favorite episode of the season.
I have to agree with that.
Yes, because if nothing else, they paid so much fan service in that episode. I think they really put a lot of thought into it. I think it gave us all the right feels. We got to see John and Mary reunite. There was a lot of closure with John and Sam, which was very satisfying emotionally. I thought that was really well written and clever. that they did it with the whole time. I mean, they've already jumping dimensions. Why can't they jump time a little bit? They've already jumped time. But they didn't make it permanent, which was also good, too. It was definitely a one-off, definitely gave us the chance to say, well, maybe there's a chance he could come back later or not. And even if he doesn't, it was such a really good episode.
Maybe it was
Right.
also setting up Mary's ending, like with her perfect heaven. We get to see a little bit more of that.
Yeah, Mary's ending. Now you just segued to another thing.
It was connected.
It was connected.
It could stay in the 300th episode.
Wow, everybody, you gotta talk. It's a podcast.
I warned you, I can't.
I know, you're the only one with a legitimate excuse.
Duke isn't even talking.
I know. I guess he's stymied. No other thoughts about the 300th
I'm really mad
episode?
that happened, though.
What?
I will say that Mary died.
But we kind
I'm really
of
mad.
figured that she was gonna.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Okay,
it's
but
coming,
I'm
the
mad
show's
that
coming to an
Mary
end.
died because I'm mad about the way that it affected Jack, because I really like Jack. And that was the beginning of, like, his whole, like, oh, now he has to be the big bad thing, which I know they were setting up. It just pissed me off.
But he wasn't the
Yeah.
big bad
No,
thing.
The beginning.
No, but they're setting him up to be, and then Dean, of course, is acting like he is.
Well, that's because he became the big bad thing when he burned off his soul to defeat Michael.
It felt like everyone
Right,
got a
but they
chance to
were
be the
treating
bad.
him like that before that even happened.
I get what you're talking about. They were treating him like he was dangerous before that. But I think they were a little more...
Well, I mean, he was.
before that. Yeah.
He was, but they weren't. I don't know. I just felt like they were not effectively co-parenting. They were like, all three of them were trying to parent him in a different way.
That's true.
And it was very frustrating to watch, because I think that was part of the downfall of it. If they had picked, like, one way, preferably Castiel's way, because that's how I would have done it, then I think it would have been fine.
I don't know. I have 3 major beefs. 2 of them are Jack's arc and Mary's death so soon. I anticipated that Mary probably wasn't going to survive this series, but the fact that she died at Jack's hand
Yeah. I agree
was
with
really tough.
that. Yeah.
I agree.
I agree
And
with that.
so anticlimactically, like,
Why did it happen
just
to
because
Jack?
he essentially had a temper tantrum,
Yeah.
I just felt like that was not okay.
I agree. And I also, it's permanent because they gave her a whole homage episode. So if they were going to do that, I feel like the way she went out was really unfortunate.
No, they explained every little thing. They brought back a shell that wasn't able to Castiel. There was like another little window where, oh, you just took her word for it? No, I went and saw. Like, they buttoned all up. But it was weird. You don't see her die at the end of the episode that she dies in, and then you only see her in those homages. So it did feel anticlimactic too soon and killed the wrong way. She didn't even die hunting.
Right, exactly. And then Jack's character, I mean, it's a little weird that they go through this whole couple of seasons where they're trying to groom him into something that has some sort of a compass with or without a soul, his human soul, to guide him. And they even go through this whole exercise of trying to hook him up with Donatello, who as a prophet doesn't have a soul, to basically see, there's a way to live morally and in a good way without a soul. And then he takes this turn between, he poofs out Michael and he burns off his soul, and that's great, although I actually, it wasn't great, because I thought that was a really anticlimactic way to get rid of Michael. After all that buildup, it was basically Jack the whole time, which, okay, they could have waited on that. And then you have him, it's just this stark decline after all of this sort of character arc. It's just poof, gone in an instant. And then he becomes morally questionable all of a sudden. And it didn't make any sense with the setup that they put in for him, which, Jack isn't my super favorite character, but he's really come along. I mean, I think he's integrated well, and I think he's earned our empathy and sympathy as a character, and I think Alex Calvert does a very good job of portraying him, so it's like, I feel that was just kind of a terrible device.
Yeah, I agree. Everything that they did with him I kept hoping, okay, I'm not liking this, but maybe they're going to do something with it, and then he ultimately dies. So he doesn't give that chance at redemption.
Except he wakes up in the empty. But we
That's
can get
true,
to
too.
that. Yeah. So I don't even know
I forgot
about the death part. I'm even just almost speaking separately of the fact that it's his soul poofing and his kind of danger to the world that then prompts Chuck, who does come back finally after all this time since season 11, prompts him to poof him out of existence because he's such a danger to the world. So it's just, it's a very, very weird and questionable arc that the show takes.
Which I thought that was kind of like a cheap way out. Just all of a sudden here's Chuck.
Right.
Because of that. Like,
and even his return was anticlimactic.
yeah, it was.
And also,
Yeah.
he was a dick.
Yeah, and I was going to say, he was an ass.
Yeah, he
an
was.
ass.
I think that's what I responded to probably the worst, although we're jumping straight to the finale now, but because Chuck is one of my favorite characters. The fact that he's been this, he's been God, but he's been hanging out, doing his thing, writing his books, but apparently has become such a child in his field trip with Amara that they can't question him, and he's going to start an apocalypse. Another one. So, I don't know. I have many, many feelings. I'm very passionate about this. Because the first half of the season was so good, and I feel like the second half of the season did not match at all.
I agree with that.
Yeah. Until it got to the finale, it was kind of like pulling teeth for me to get through the other episodes. But I was like, I gotta get through it, obviously for the podcast, but also by the time you get to the season finale.
Right. I went on rant. Somebody else has got to talk.
I don't know. I just agree with everything that you said. And, I was talking to my wife and her sister who live with me who haven't watched the show since the beginning up, first 5 seasons or whatever. And I said something about Chuck, and they were like, oh, Chuck comes back? And I was like, no, he's a dick. You won't like him anymore. Don't be happy. And they're like, are you serious? He was my favorite character. No. He's just no. He's so ruined for me now.
Unless he's not really Chuck. Maybe he's somebody else.
Maybe he's Amara.
That was my thought.
Oh, that could be. Never thought of that.
Oh, she's just in Reno somewhere. Don't worry about her.
Yeah, we haven't found anything out about her, right?
Don't ask questions.
She's
only
not.
that she's in Reno. She's
Right,
back,
other
but
than
only
that.
that she's in
Yeah.
Reno.
Yes.
So maybe.
That would be an interesting twist, and would also explain the jump to Apocalypse right away, because she didn't get what she had the first time.
Maybe she locked up God and took his place.
Maybe. That would also be a cool twist. Something.
That would be.
Was the whole Lucifer thing this part, or was that at the end of the first part?
So Lucifer's been dead the whole season.
Right.
But Nick
No,
has
I
been
mean with Nick.
Yeah, so Nick, in this half of the season, Nick is still trying to basically reconnect.
Like he's getting
With
into
Lucifer.
murdering.
Yes, he's
People
still he's still doing all of his murdering business. But then Mary catches up to him.
Right, that's right.
And actually, that's part of it too. Jack snuffs him out as well, but in that scene, what we presume is
that.
Lucifer's essence kind of reaches through the empty and is almost going to be there, and then Jack shows up and stops it.
And then tortures Nick to death.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is what prompts Mary trying to calm him down or stop him.
Right.
And then
Yeah.
prompts
And then
him to
that's-
kill her. Right. What did we think of that arc? The Nick pining after Lucifer and his absence.
I didn't like it.
I was ready for him to be dead.
I mean, he is a great actor.
I thought-
but
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
character-wise, I didn't like the decision that they were. I mean, it was just.
they really they stretched him out for longer than he should have been on there, even after Lucifer died.
I agree with
I don't think
that.
the actor should have been brought back as Nick, even after Lucifer got out of his body or whatever.
I mean, I really like Mark Pellegrino. I think he was a good actor, and I think I like that they seemed to sort of model Nick's arc after almost like an addict behavior. But I agree, I was starting to get a little bored of it by that point as well. Although I thought that scene was really cool. I didn't particularly love that Jack tortured him to death, being that I love Jack. But I liked that Mary was there to try to talk him out of it. And then I didn't like that he killed Mary. So that was a very back and forth emotional turmoil moment for me personally.
part of me doesn't think it makes that much sense. He's reacting quickly, and he isn't evil, he just is the absence of good. I don't get why it wasn't just he's dead. Like, why he felt anything to want to torture him beyond that. Like that, which is kind of a little thing, but because it led to Mary's death, it's not that little for me. Like, it just shouldn't have been what it was. I feel like there was a lot of interesting things that they introduced, interesting storylines, interesting ideas that didn't pay off well. Like, Nick was around too long. But there's an aspect of Nick being around that I thought would have been better to explore, and he even mentions it, that you have Sam or Dean. Which one had Michael in him? Dean. They were both the perfect host. So, like, you have, like, one brief second where they mentioned that, but they could have explored that more if they were going to keep Nick around. But they did something different with him and then killed him off, and I don't know. Like I said, it was more entertaining to watch, but it all led up to things that didn't sit right at the end. And I don't know if it's... Mary dying should be a series finale, and then show us her in heaven, and we're good with that. And we'll see what happens with Jack, I guess. I don't know.
I don't like how she got written off, but I think it was smart to kill her off before Sam and Dean, because then, depending on what happens, like, they can have more of the focus instead of focus kind of jumping all over the place, depending on who they need to focus on, like, in the finale, in case, like, heaven forbid anyone dies, or anyone else dies.
The show can't end with them dying, unless it's them in their old age or something. I think they set it up too much.
I could see it ending with one of them dying.
I feel like that wouldn't sit well either, especially with some of the stuff that happened with this season, with Sam going to shoot Jack.
Yeah, I had an issue with that too, Sam going to shoot Jack.
Yeah.
But I can also say that it's very possible either neither will die or both will die. I don't think one will die and not the other.
Yeah.
Because they both interchangeably died over the course of the series, and also Jensen and Jared have more or less hinted, if not outright said, that most likely it would end with their deaths, or that's what they would like to see, and most likely it would be deaths together, because they can't let each other die. It's either they're together or they're not, they're together in life or they're together in death.
I guess personally, them both dying would be anticlimactic to me, because especially with how this season ends, they're basically dead. They're swarmed by too many people. Like, we've seen them get to that point, and we know that they're not going to die there. Something's going to happen. Jack will be sent down by the MD to stop that, at least briefly, or I don't know what. Then we would just be trying to get back to the point of this, where this season ended. And it would just feel like they failed, I guess. So they'd have to be pretty clever for me to enjoy them both dying at the end. Especially because then what are they going to show us? Them in heaven with their parents? We kind of already got that feeling from the 300th episode. Mm-hmm. So they're kind of painting themselves into a corner.
Well,
to be fair, they kind of been doing that since, like, they first prevented the first apocalypse, where it's like, okay, what are we going to write about now?
True. But I think they've convincingly got themselves out of corners before. Mm-hmm. The question is, can they do it for this last? And I got to assume that they have a plan. The question is, will we be convinced by this plan? Will we be allowed with suspension of disbelief for this plan? Because
now are we going to be patient enough for that plan to take place? Because it's going to be, 20-ish episodes that they have for the last season?
Mm-hmm.
Do we know?
Oh, there is 20 episodes?
I think there's going to be another 20. It's not 20. I don't think it's 23.
That's why I said 20-ish.
Yeah, I think it was 20 this season. We'll look it up.
It was.
Yeah, there was 20 this season.
Yeah.
Which I'm kind of glad it was a little shorter, because at least, with how it was getting written out and stuff, I don't know what else they would have done if it was, more than 20 episodes.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, they could have written stuff, but considering what they did with season 14, I don't think I would want to know what they could have done with it.
I feel like here's what I do know. I do know that they plan to bring back a greatest hits litany of people, including Adam the half-brother. I think they're going to break him finally out of the cage, number one.
He's only been in there for 10 years.
Right.
Well, I got to see him sometime. We brought Archangel Michael. Why can't... Also, I think that the scene that we saw, which was at the very end of the finale, which saw Jack with the empty and the shadow, which we presume is Lucifer, is significant. I just don't know to what significance or what that really means in the end.
Yeah.
We've speculated a lot. But
yeah, and Billy was there too.
Billy was there. Billy the Reaper.
We know God doesn't think very highly of her.
No.
Chuck doesn't think very highly of her.
Chuck's not a fan of this death. Which also begs the question, with this new apocalypse, is he gonna, will there be more horsemen? I mean, what are we gonna see here? Is he going to resurrect some things, devices that we've seen in the past? He is God. He made the world. He can do what he wants.
What do you think if he tries to resurrect Adam as one of those?
Well, Adam is technically alive. He's just in the cage.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
But even with it, he got resurrected just so that he could be Michael's vessel.
Well, he was always alive. They found him. They found the half-brother when Dean didn't want to take on Michael because he was the perfect vessel. And so Adam...
I thought they brought him back to life, though, because he died... Because they met, I can't remember what the name of the monster was, but basically it was a monster pretending to be him, so they never actually met their brother.
No, I thought they found the half-brother, and he agreed to accept Michael because he felt jilted by the fact that he didn't grow up with them. Wasn't that in season 5? I think...
I thought...
Nobody remembers.
I thought he got brought back...
That's too far back for me to remember.
Yeah. I was going to say, I thought he got brought back to life in season 5 just so that he could be the vessel. But
I don't remember him dying. I remember him falling into the pit, but I don't remember him dying.
Yeah. Hang on. Let me check the Google.
Okay. This is our live researching on tape. On recording.
I mean, it has been a while. It's been 10 years since this happened, so...
That's true. So, how did the rest of you feel about Michael's quick resolution?
I was fine with it. I found more problematic, or I didn't care, I guess. They kept setting up these hunters and Sam's relationship. Why can't I keep their names straight?
I don't know. After this long, you think you'd be able to do that, Nick.
You would think. Sam's relationship with the other hunters.
Right.
It felt like something they just kept mentioning. And even every time they said Maggie, I was like, now who is she again? I just didn't connect with Maggie, so when they all died really quick, and we didn't really get to see too much of it, combined with Michael's end, it just seemed really quick.
Yeah.
That was the beginning of the anticlimactic way that they resolved storylines that they started.
And I have major feelings because I wanted that to be a showdown with Michael.
Okay, I got the answer.
Okay.
So, in 2009, Adam was studying biology at University of Wisconsin. I guess not around that time, maybe a little bit before, during one of the visits that John made to Adam, he killed a ghoul. Years later, seeking vengeance, the ghoul's children killed Adam's biological mother and Adam and assumed their forms, hoping to lure John into a trap as vengeance for their father's murder. So when season 4 hit, Sam and Dean, I think when they got that call saying oh, hey, it's your half-brother, that's what brought them there, not that Adam or whatever was actually alive at that point. And then season 5...
Yeah, how did he get resurrected?
Yeah, season 5, he was apparently in his own private heaven. He got approached by the angels saying that obviously Michael was looking for a vessel to defeat Lucifer, and he accepts in the hope that his biological mother would get returned.
Wow, I don't remember any of that at all.
It's been 10 years, so...
It has been 10 years. I think I kind of have to rewatch these first 5 seasons.
Yeah.
Because I only remember some things, I guess, anymore, because I'm old and it's been on for 15 years.
Is it time for a looking back, seasons 1 through 5?
Maybe.
That might not be a bad idea, actually.
I mean, our goodbye episode will be a looking back because, we started on season 8, so...
I could summarize that episode. I don't remember the Leviathan stuff.
You have to
I don't remember.
You remember. Of course you remember the Leviathans because everybody complains about them every episode.
No, that's what I was saying. The episode...
They suck.
The summary would be I don't remember much. The Leviathans suck, and I don't remember other stuff. Oh. It's just lots of me not remembering.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's been so long.
I know.
Yeah.
It's been a decade of life.
So at least we can say I was right.
I guess we can, Jen. You were right. Our Abraxas returned.
Who?
Abraxas the demon. That's what he was trapped in the Enochian puzzle box that Mary had stored in the locker. Remember, he was a demon that was in 9 or 10, but was a girl before.
Wasn't she hunting the Men of Letters back then?
I think that was the Gates of Hell season before the Men of Letters.
Yep.
So yeah, so everyone cared a lot about Abraxas. That's a good deal.
So part of my problem, my struggles with my memory, is sometimes there's storylines that we don't actually see what happens, and that's in this season. It was the stuff going on in heaven.
Yeah.
And I couldn't remember if it was something I didn't remember or something like, oh no, this is us getting that information. So the big thing was, did we see what happened to Naomi or just hear about? Okay.
We just heard about it from Doom.
We heard
that the empty might come into heaven, and then the next thing was that it had Naomi, and Naomi, one of the 7 angels left, is locked away.
So now we're down to 6.
Yes.
No, Jack made more.
Allegedly. We don't know if they were.
Yeah, allegedly.
No, we never found out, did we?
never
The
found
lie
out.
sparked the angel color.
Yeah.
Okay, but then what happened? Where did they go after that?
They're in heaven. We see them in heaven.
I thought he was. Yeah, I thought he was
placing
talking
a
to
lot
Sam
of
and
trust
Dean about
in
how
this
he was
scene.
trying to. I thought Jack was trying to talk with Sam and Dean before they tried to lock him up. That it wasn't like going right with him trying to create his own angels.
Yeah, that was kind of my take on it as well. It was not successful in the making of said angels. And I'm wondering now if there's some sort of bastard angels running around heaven.
Maybe we'll see that in 15.
Probably.
Season 15.
Yeah, man, I think God's got to make more angels. If Chuck is back, he's got to get on that. He's not doing so well.
Yeah.
Unless he's just going to trash all of the world, which is also possible. I have...
Well, I mean, it seems like he's trashing the world.
Yeah. This is
That,
true.
presumably, whatever was happening at the end is happening worldwide.
Yeah. Starting
yeah.
with them, though. Clearly they're ground zero. And clearly they're going to get out of it. So how will they get out of it?
Jack, Billy, a combination of the two.
Real God.
Real God, yeah.
I mean, the more I think about it, the more I just think that Chuck's actions don't fit his character.
No, they
and
don't.
It's God, for one thing. Why couldn't he just snap his fingers and Jack's dust? No, he's got to convince someone else to kill him. With a gun that can kill anything. Not God, by the way. That irritated me, that gun that didn't really do anything. That was
Well,
supposed to
it was a
light up.
shoulder
Oh,
wound,
yeah.
so it
Yeah.
gave one of the brothers a shoulder.
But still,
the
he could
reciprocal
kill
shoulder
anything,
wound.
but he just...
So it had to be the heart. Or a headshot.
It could have clipped him in a hair follicle, and I would have expected it to kill him.
No, it's fine.
The Colt would have killed him in the shoulder, probably.
I mean, I agree with Jeremy. The gun was dumb.
Yeah.
I don't know where the hell they were going with the gun.
Well, a lot of the stuff they did with Chuck, I think they were relying on the fact that it was meta.
I'm going to do
it through.
air quotes every time somebody says Chuck from now on.
Because you're convinced that it's not Chuck.
Now, the more I'm thinking about it, all of the qualities of this Chuck were almost opposite of the actual Chuck.
Is there any trickster gods left?
Chuck, no, but Chuck
is
could really
there?
be Amara. No, I
Or
think
Yeah,
could be
because
Mara.
think about it. Like, if you were impersonating God as Amara, let's say, just for the sake of argument, and somebody asks you, hey, where's Amara? Oh, that girl. Oh, she's in Reno. Don't worry about that. Hey, how about this gun here? That's going to kill everything. Anything. Come on.
But one of you will die if you use it.
I hope so, because if they make Chuck, I mean...
They basically boiled him down to a teenager, because he was just like, you're my favorite show.
A teenager who's a hack writer, by the way.
I have a thought.
But
What
it
if
just...
What if it's Chuck that's the shadow in the empty?
Oh, and Amara trapped him in the
Yeah.
Oh.
Why
That's
did he
why
smile?
God, quote unquote, air quotes, doesn't like death because death knows that God's in the empty.
Uh-huh. That could be a very interesting twist.
Will they be that clever, though?
Yeah, that's true.
I hope so, because that, in my mind, that would work out really well.
Yeah. That would.
If that is the eventuality, then they will have redeemed this.
I was gonna say they could dig themselves out with that.
Yes, Jen. What did you like about Jen K? What did you like about the season finale?
Well, I liked before it led up to when Jack was dying with how he. I mean, this is kind of like not as important for what happened in the finale, but how they made it so that everyone was telling the truth. Just kind of that little like side adventure, I guess you'd say, and how like you could see how chaotic it was for everyone that was trying to tell the truth because they couldn't lie anymore. So I thought that was kind of funny, where it's like kind of returning to someone Supernatural's old roots, where it's like, well, what would happen if this happened? And it seems completely implausible. But for me, at least, the reason why I like the finale was because towards the end, even though obviously Jack died, like that was really what made me be like, okay, this is actually interesting now because God's basically having like a little hissy fit. He doesn't like how things are going, and he's basically resetting the quote-unquote timeline for them for everything that they killed, and he's just like, nope, coming back to life. You got to fight him again. And I think for me, it's just more of the nostalgia of bringing all that stuff back.
I found the not lying thing to be very... It just did not match with where this is the end of the second to last season, and this is what's happening that brought Chuck back. Like that, it was too comical to be a part of the finale of the season. And I don't know, some of what they were doing because they couldn't lie, it just was weird to me.
I did like the Stapler Queen.
I mean, it might not have fit, but I think, like, just kind of showing what the chaos was for Jack was, like, kind of showing more of his power. I think that kind of helped. But I'm thinking at that point, too, maybe just in general, Jack kind of snapping, that's more of what brought Chuck back rather than, like, oh, just everybody's lying, causing, like, all this, like, unnecessary chaos. I think Chuck was still planning to, like, come back, but he's like, he needed more of an excuse.
Maybe. I guess I'm at the point of why didn't he come back before?
Which they brought up
Well,
several
that's...
times.
Yeah.
Yeah, they kept bringing up. Which maybe we'll find out. Maybe we won't.
Jack's always been a thing. I really like this Chuck as Amara theory. Because it's hopeful, and I don't know if that's what really they're going to do, but...
So that was one of my thoughts while I was watching, because it didn't fit what I remembered of Chuck.
Right.
And Amara was my first thought, but then I couldn't really remember. It seemed like things ended well with Amara, so what could have happened to make her want to come back?
They went on vacation together, and everyone knows that when you go on vacation with family, it's stressful, and you start fighting, and then next thing you know, she throws you in the empty, takes over your position, and goes back and burns everything down.
Here's another theory. What if, because I don't know why Billy is in the empty, what if there's a little bit of a switcheroo and the person we know as Chuck is actually Lucifer?
He had more Lucifer qualities.
Mm-hmm. This is what I'm saying.
It could be.
He was kind of acting like Lucifer. I actually thought that while I was watching it. Like, oh, you're acting
and
just like a
there
little
was the
kid.
botched summoning.
The botched summoning.
Taking Lucifer out of the empty.
Yeah, exactly.
And even when I watched that, I kind of thought, like, wait a minute, it was done. Where is he?
Well, I guess I thought Jack's powers took care of it when he did whatever. Because a lot of times when he used his powers, we didn't see what happened until they wanted to show us the details of it.
Well, maybe the reason, quote-unquote, Chuck wants Jack dead is because eventually Jack would figure out that he's Lucifer, or at least like he would be one of the first ones to potentially see through that.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe God's still off playing vacation somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah, there were a couple of moments. Like, I thought it was weird that he said he came back because Castiel asked him to. When that was kind of a while ago at that point.
It was. They heavily
and he's
implied
like, well, it was really Jack.
Right.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
The amulet in Methuselah's store or whatever it was.
Yep. Castiel and Aniel, who was played by Danielle Ackles, found that amulet. Yeah.
I liked her, by the way. She was cool.
She's been in the past couple of seasons. You know, she's Dean's Jensen's real life wife. Yeah. Lucky woman. That's my momentary hearts.
Yeah.
Getting family into the past. God, nepotism.
Yeah.
Heavy.
Yeah. Random question. I didn't get a chance to look, but like, was his wife active as like an actor before she was playing this stuff, or what, or did she have like a different career?
She's done a couple of CW things, basically. They met while they were up there. I can't even remember. It was like soapy TV. Some of their soapy stuff. I don't even remember what she was in. Not a lot, but that's how they met, was at CW functions, basically.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Because we obviously know how Jared Padalecki met his wife was actually on the set of Supernatural.
That's true. She played Ruby, fake Ruby. You married fake Ruby. That's from the Meta episode. Remember season 8?
So I just Googled her. I think the biggest thing she was in was One Tree Hill.
There you go, One Tree Hill. That's soapy TV.
Okay.
I was totes right, yo.
She was in a couple Harold and Kumar's, though. Wow, go her.
Was it the White Castle?
No, it wasn't the it wasn't the most famous one.
Oh,
it was
well,
the sequels.
I didn't even know there were sequels.
Two of them, apparently.
Awesome.
To
Wow.
a podcast.
I know, right? So I'm trying to go through our questions, many of which were answered, but we have some new ones. So we expected Michael to be the big bad, and he really wasn't. It was kind of Jack, don't you think? Who was really the big bad?
No. Well, in their attempt to not... Well, I'm assuming they were trying not to do this because it was one of my issues in former seasons, is we know what the big bad is, and then they just have to fill about 18 episodes till we get to what happens to it. I feel like they were trying to not do that. So you had Michael, you had Jack, and then it's ending with God, or Chuck, or whoever Chuck is pretending to be Chuck, to go over, which makes it feel like there really wasn't a big bad. Because Nick did some damage. Lucifer was around a little bit.
To me, it felt like the writers were playing a lot of video games, because it really did feel like an RPG game where you think you know who the big bad is, and you get halfway into it, and like, oh, there's the big reveal, and then at the end, oh, there's another big reveal. It's like an Oprah thing. You get to be the big bad. You get to be the big bad.
Yeah, I don't know who the villain was in the end.
What?
The writers.
Can you guys remind me when Castiel was talking to Castiel, but it was really
When
him in the empty.
Castiel was talking to Castiel?
It was in the empty.
Okay, got it.
So I guess it was
nothing.
Is that what it was? It was the nothing? But
no,
the empty?
He was talking to the empty, but the empty was manifesting as like this Muppet sounding version of Castiel.
So what happened with the empty?
He stayed there. I mean, he came back. He came out for a little while when Jack went to heaven.
Yeah.
Because he thought that the empty thought that Jack was his soul to claim because he was half angel, whereas heaven thought they were their soul to claim because he was half human. And in the end, Castiel made the deal that said, if Jack can come back to life and be claimed by heaven, I will give myself over to you, the empty, because he was real pissed that Castiel woke up and got out. And then the empty told Castiel, I'll come get you when you...
So we're still waiting for that?
We're still waiting for that to happen.
Well, wait. How do we know Billy isn't masquerading as the empty isn't masquerading as Billy?
I guess we don't know that.
But they were in the empty, and that was the empty that Jack ended with Billy, right?
Jack was in the empty with what looked to be Billy and the shadow who we've understood to be Lucifer up until this point.
I guess I thought that's what the empty looked like as it was...
Without a form to take?
Before it turned into Castiel's image. That was my first thought when I saw that. My only thought was that was the empty doing a goofy smiley face thing, and Billy was there.
I don't know that we've ever seen the empty without a shell. I think the shadow we've seen has had red eyes, which has made us believe that he was
But I didn't think that had red eyes.
Yeah.
I saw a smile.
Well, I don't know. I wasn't looking that closely.
What? It's one of the last moments of the season finale.
I was also really pissed, Nick, because I was mad.
Maybe it was your eyes that were red.
I was so ticked off by everything. I mean, I don't... The last time I have felt this mad at the end of a Supernatural season was season 7!
With the Leviathan!
Yes!
Well, every 7th season...
Apparently.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah,
it is every
seventh
seventh
season.
season.
Oh man, 15's a rebuilding year. Oh no.
No, I mean, the only hope is that this is upsetting because it isn't actually... Like, this isn't your traditional end of a season because they're setting up the final season.
Which I don't, that part I don't mind. It's the character turn. So if Chuck ends up being actually Chuck and just acting like this after everything we've learned about Chuck, I will be ticked.
Yes.
If Chuck
But
is...
you don't know that.
I don't know that. If somebody's masquerading as Chuck, that would be a great twist and I'd be okay with that.
But the Jack stuff would still be upsetting.
It would be. And Mary's death would still be upsetting.
Correct.
Because I thought many ways that could have been handled better and they didn't choose to do that.
I will say, though, I am glad that we at least, know that they're going to get a final season instead of them getting oh, we got canceled. Guess you're just going to have to figure out what happens on your own.
Well,
you're going to have to guess.
Yeah, they would never do that. Supernatural is such a flagship show for this network. I think...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they'd let them do whatever they need to do.
I kept thinking to myself, how would this end if this was going to be the last season? I couldn't... I thought...
I know...
badly.
Yeah.
I could have seen
they kept bouncing around, too, for, whatever night that they were premiering, and then, what was it, 8 or 9, they got, sent to Friday nights, which that's, the... At least at the time, that was oh, that's, the death slot for a TV show, so because, no one's going to watch it on a Friday night, and, of course, they got proved wrong.
I don't even know what's on different nights anymore, because I just stream everything.
Yeah, I don't care about that.
Oh, yeah, there's that. Well, There's that too.
People watch regular TV.
I just watch it on YouTube TV.
Some people watch
Shows
it.
up in
It's
my
weird that
recording.
matters to networks what days they're airing things. I don't understand.
It used to. I
Well,
think it matters less now, but
Yeah, it matters less now. At least now that they can stream stuff, but at least because it was 2009, 2010 before streaming really became popular, or more mainstream, I guess.
I think we
Wasn't
need
Mainstream.
I think we need an audit of what angels are left.
I do think not that long ago they had said 7. I remember
Come on,
talking
I know there
maybe
wasn't
not
many. I know there wasn't
single
many.
digits, and they lost one more. Cassie,
2 more.
Are they down to? I
Jack?
was gonna say, are they down to one hand now?
3 if you count Michael.
Doma or whatever her name was.
Duma.
Oh, Duma.
4 if you count her.
That's who I was. That was the only one I remember dying this year.
Well,
Wait, I thought
Naomi.
Oh yeah, she did
Yeah,
She's
die.
not
Okay.
dead. She's locked in a box.
She is?
I
thought
don't
we
remember
determined
that.
she was
No.
dead.
I thought we
She's
determined we
dead.
didn't actually see it happening.
Yeah,
I
we
thought
determined.
Duma just said so. We locked her in a box. We locked her away.
Oh, I don't remember
Oh, I
that.
don't know.
That maybe I
Oh, I'm glad
misheard.
she's dead. Duma? Oh, she's a...
Duma's dead, but Naomi.
What is the answer to lock everything in a box, by the way? It seems like that happens with a bunch of different
box.
characters.
So they can open the box
They're quick-
later, obviously.
Quick
Where's
way out.
Pandora? Come
So
on
they
now.
can title an episode Jack in the Box.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
why.
God. Thanks, Dad.
That's the title, huh?
Rowena's still kicking. I know.
I like
God.
Rowena, but I don't think they did enough with her.
I'm not a fan.
I had a huge
I
problem
love her.
with how quickly Jack could move all over the place, and because we don't know where people live, the Winchesters could drive almost as fast. What is the layout? Where are they driving? Everyone lives in the same city now? That's what it seemed like.
Because writing convenience. Or it's like the Muppets where it's we'll just travel by map.
Did they do a Muppet episode?
No. We're still trying to figure out how there's different dimensions. How does the empty even exist? How does God and Amara exist in this world?
I
That's
don't
above
know.
our pay grade.
Have they ever addressed this and I just forgot? With the multiple universes, is there still just one Chuck? Or is
That's
there
what I was just
a
wondering.
Chuck for each one?
See,
That's what I
in
was
this
wondering.
particular series or season finale, they seemed to suggest, without actually coming out and saying, that all the different dimensions are different versions of things that God has written.
Because that's what it sounded like they were saying. But
It's God's fan fiction.
except he has, I don't know.
Well, he's a terrible writer though.
Apparently.
Which
Well, why keep
hence
all the other ones in
different
motion?
terrible worlds.
Especially if he doesn't like them. There's one with just squirrels. He seemed indifferent about that, so why does it exist?
There's a lot of questions,
Maybe he
Nick.
just can't snap his fingers and end one of them.
Well, it seems like that's what he's doing right now.
He's unleashing hell on
Maybe that's why I want to say maybe that's why he was quote unquote gone for so long, was that he was trying to end his different failed writing worlds.
I thought he was touring with Amara. We're going to go
Suppo-
to Europe and Italy and go to Pluto. And
He was, but according to him, he's back.
I guess
And
I want
she's-
to.
Yeah.
I kind of want to go back and watch.
Or maybe they were touring to figure out which ones they wanted to get rid of.
Season 11.
They're like, I'm going to tear this one down, put a condo here.
And then
The squirrels are okay, they can stay here.
Yeah. Will we see anybody like Azazel, Raphael, Joe, Ellen, Charlie, Adam, any of the angels that have died, Gabriel? What are we watching? What is this
I don't know if I
anymore?
really
Right.
want to see anybody else come back. I feel like that's just the mechanic. It's their go-to. What do we do? Oh, let's bring so-and-so back.
So let's talk about, given this current trajectory to the extent that you can even speculate, what is it that you hope to see in season 15?
An ending.
And then what would that ending look like? What would that ideal ending look like for you? For each of you must all answer.
Who knows?
I think my ideal ending, I would like to see the Amara / Chuck / maybe the Empty, one of those three impersonating God. And then I want the Winchesters to go out in a blaze of glory, sacrificing themselves for the good of humanity, and then God coming back and resurrecting them somehow. That's what I want to see.
Wow.
And that tied, and that neat and nice in a little bow.
I do agree with you that I think for the next season to be easier to watch, it has to not be Chuck. That can't be Chuck. What I want to happen, I'm not sure. What I feel like is going to happen is almost immediately in the first episode, something will come down and freeze time, move the Winchesters somewhere safe, do something.
Maybe it's Rowena.
Maybe it is
She's still
Rotita.
at the dog
She's,
Ooh.
she's
Sam.
Oh, you're right.
Specifically
Sam.
Sam.
Yeah, specifically Sam. That's
She can go in a blaze of glory.
Does she have to through the course of the show, though? Like, do we have to see that?
Do we have to
Maybe Sam serves her some bad.
Does that have to
mutton 10
happen
years
this
down the
season?
road?
It's just something that we know that's what's going to happen to her.
I think we have to for closure.
To see Rowena go out? Yeah, I think we have to because they made such a production of foretelling her death.
I just hope it's not going to be as lame as Crowley going out.
Oh. Shoot, I thought Crowley's end was
Yeah.
better than Nick's end.
Well, yeah,
What about
it
Mary's?
was.
Or Mary's end. Crowley at least went out with some sort of
There was
self-sacrifice.
something about Mary.
Yeah, there's some.
No.
Oh.
Okay. Jen, or Kelsey, how would you like to see the next season go or end?
Not gonna lie, I kind of want to see Yellow Eyes Demon come back.
Azazel?
Yeah. I think part of it just for me is kind of getting the wrap up of the series, seeing everything full circle, maybe having him come back and see like, okay, well he's the main reason why we were hunting or still hunting in the first place, why the dad, John Winchester, got into hunting for the first place, seeing like come full circle for that, just to see like how much they've grown since like they first started hunting him in the first place. I think that'd be kind of cool to see, especially how much they have grown since season 1 and when he was first killed in, was it season 2? Season 4? I don't know.
Season 2 is when he was first killed.
Yeah, but otherwise, at least for stuff I want to see, probably get a little bit more fan service. Just for season 15, since it is the last one. I mean, kind of unrelated to Sam or Dean, I kind of hope nothing actually happens to the car. So I think if
The car must survive!
No,
I
they
think
die
that
in
the car, like, somehow... I think if the car manages to outlive Sam or Dean, I think that could actually be really funny.
I want the car to be their coffin.
Aw, that's
Oh.
morbid.
Well, yeah, everything.
It
Death
would
is
be
morbid.
a good end to the show to have Baby die somehow in the final battle or something.
What if Baby's the sacrifice?
So
What if
it
they have
seems-
to burn Baby to avoid Sam and Dean possessing it later on as ghosts?
Dean would be crushed.
What if they all have to live out their lives as a cartoon with the Scooby-Doo gang?
What if they come back as squirrels?
I think that ship has sailed. Jen S. or Kelsey, how do you want to see this next season go or end?
I kind of want to see everything gets resolved. Of course, everything's happy. You know, maybe heaven is restored or whatever, and Sam and Dean are fine. Everything's conquered, and we get all these answers of is God or Chuck, whatever. But I think that they need to speed up their age, like have them die of old age.
So you'd like them to survive.
Like maybe they become angels and are like the guardians of heaven.
Oh.
Might be a neat. Something they
Do
just
14
deserve.
more seasons of that.
There just needs to be like a good resolution and a happy.
You don't want Blaze of Glory. You want heavenly choirs.
Not so
and
much. Yeah,
happy
like they
endings.
become protectors because of all of what they've done for Earth and everything.
Okay.
They should become some kind of heroes. I
Okay.
think.
I was going to say, I don't think they want to be angels, though, since they think, other than Castiel, most of the rest of the angels are kind of dicks.
They are. In this world, they are. I agree with them.
Yep.
Kelsey, what do you think?
I have no idea. I think I'd rather see it go out kind of Blaze of Glory style, for sure. And I like the idea of Chuck not being Chuck. And I like the idea of that wrapping up differently. But other than that, I'm not really sure what I want, because it's just gone in such a different direction than I was hoping it would go. So I don't know in one season how I would want them to do it.
I'm kind of with Kelsey. I had a vision, which was, and I thought that's where they were going, where it was this apocalypse with the archangels. If they're fighting God, I would be super upset, because it seems like nothing good can come of that. If God is / Chuck is something else, that's great, but then I don't even know where that could go. Like, I don't have...
Part of that is good. You don't want to know.
That's true. If it remains unpredictable and it remains twisty and it surprises me in this last season, that could probably be satisfying for me, because it has not been too surprising for a while, at least for a few seasons.
Yeah.
I thought season 11 was really, really good, but it's been kind of, again, working back up to something since then. So if they can be surprising, if they can be original, if they can pull out some stops that we have not seen coming or have seen done before, in any of the previous 15 seasons, then I think we probably are going to get the best we can hope from it, because it has been on so long, and they have been all around their own individual carousel. Not to mention they've templated a lot of this heaven hell stuff for a lot of other shows. This was originally based on or inspired by the Hellblazer comic, and they're way off that, and in some ways have become an influence for other things just like it. And as long as they manage to inspire something original, I think I would be impressed. But I would be really super freaking pissed, mad, sad, if it ends in this kind of crappy anticlimactic way after all this time.
Well, and I was kind of pessimistic when I saw the ending, because I was like, oh, look, the apocalypse. Didn't we do this 10 years ago?
Well,
Right.
we did it 3 years ago with season 11 with God and Amara. I mean, they've had multiple apocalypses. Apocalypse. I don't even know. How do you
Is there a
pluralize it?
plural for that?
Not normally.
I don't think they. Yeah, I was gonna say that
There
normally.
should only be one.
Apocalypse.
I said there
There's
should only be one.
I agree. There should only be one, but they've had many. And we're about to go into our fourth if you count what Michael was starting to try to do, I guess.
Fifth, if
Right.
you count the whole world, that was the apocalypse.
We talked about this. You cannot count Apocalypse World. That's another dimension.
It's still an apocalypse that we were dealing with on this show.
Yeah, but it wasn't an apocalypse that was in this dimension. It was in a different dimension. They could just bottle it up, sew it up, tear it up. There you go.
And that really wasn't very apocalyptic, by the way, Apocalypse World. Like,
It was
in my
a
mind,
very
it should be like,
anticlimactic
everything's
apocalypse.
dead, you know.
Yeah.
But it was
There's
like
still-
It could have been worse.
That's like climate change over there. That's all.
Angelic climate change.
There you go.
Filled with smiting.
And lack of color.
Yes.
Yeah, very great cinematography.
I would just add that I feel like we got alternate dimension Bobby and Charlie, and they really didn't use them, so I'm hoping they'll be part of maybe the final battle, or we'll see what they're doing during this apocalypse. I don't know.
Yeah,
Like-
where did Apocalypse World Bobby go?
Yeah, where did it go?
Well, he came back
Ugh.
for the funeral, and that was still like, it wasn't worth bringing him back for that, to throw an axe at a wraith's head and
Yeah.
drink.
Well, at least they didn't kill him in the bunker with the rest of the hunters.
Right. So I
Yeah,
get why
why
they were
did they
gone.
even start that whole, like, Mary and Bobby romance thing?
I don't know.
There are no answers
So there
because
could be baggage later on.
there could be. But there's so many whys. Why did they do this? Why did they do that when they ended up where they ended up?
Because they
And
tossed a dart, and that's where it landed.
Well, and this is really, at least even with the Leviathan season, there was an ending, and it killed off the Leviathans, and we were all happy. Right now, we're like, okay, this is leading to the last season, and what's it leading to? And I have burblies in my tummy because I don't know. I'm very dramatic and whiny. Because I've loved this show a very long time, and if they screw it up, I'm going to be so mad. So mad.
I've been watching this show as long as I've known you, Kylie.
At least I've recommended it to many of people on this panel.
Yeah, me.
Yeah, I
I think it was on season 3 when you recommended it to me.
Really?
It
Was
was on
it?
season 3 when I started watching. Did
That's
you
when I
recommend it
came
to
in.
me?
Season 3.
I don't know. I talked about it effusively with a lot of people.
Yeah.
So,
I've been watching it since the first season.
yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I think I started after season 5 when it was doing the reruns, I think, on like TBS. Because randomly enough, at least where I grew up, like we didn't get the CW even through like regular channels because we were just in like a really crap area. But like sometimes we could get it through like Wisconsin. So like TBS was the only way I was able to really like watch Supernatural through for the first time until like again streaming became more like mainstream. I hate using that word for the word streaming.
It became mainstream.
Prevalent.
There you go. I like that better.
Well, I don't know what else to say.
We mentioned that we find out Trump made a deal with Crowley.
That was funny. I did like that.
Oh, yeah.
It was such a quick aside, I didn't even mention it.
All right.
The writers are Democrats. But it's Hollywood.
Well, even with it, you feel like more people would have been like outraged or whatever at the liberal media if they brought it up or if they made a bigger deal out of it.
But
Well,
they couldn't
it's like,
lie.
Yeah, most of the CW shows have not shied away from the socio-political context. And frankly,
Oh, yeah.
there aren't very many entertainment complexes right now that are totally on board with the current socio-political context. Did I keep that politically
Not
neutral?
even Last Man Standing?
Except for Last Man Standing. That's for a different podcast, which we probably won't do. I'm just being honest. Here are my standard questions. Now, I am not going to ask you if you recommend Supernatural because we're now penultimate, and asking that question would be dumb because we have one more season to evaluate whether or not you feel that way. Do you have any parting shots you want to make about the season or anything else that we haven't talked about, season 14, or what we hope to see in season 15?
I had something, but I forgot it now.
That's good. Good podcast.
The Monsters of the Week, we didn't mention them, and they felt forgettable to me.
The
There weren't very
Gorgon?
many of them.
Yeah, they kind
There
of
wasn't many.
shied
Like
away
two,
from the
three?
Scooby-Doo episodes.
Yeah, pretty much. There really was very few. There was a Donna episode, but even that was all about building that box that Dean had.
Yeah.
Well, I felt like all of them, they tied into the main story.
They all
that's
That's
true.
pretty
not
much
something
tied
they've done in
in.
the past.
Yeah.
So maybe it's just the one in the last 5 or 6 episodes.
The Gorgon?
The Gorgon.
Was it called the
The
Gorgon?
guy, the guy who was eating eyeballs
Yeah.
Yeah.
to
For
see.
clairvoyance.
No, that's not the one I'm talking about. The
Native
settler,
American
yeah,
thing
that
got
was-
turned
Oh,
into
yeah,
a
the Native
cannibal.
American one.
Yeah, so he was a cannibal, so they gave him immortality, but he would digest himself if they, I don't know. That was
It was kind of weird.
That was called, I'll find it.
The Kohanta? Or
yeah,
something like that?
Kohanta, the Whistler.
I'm gonna say it's a little weird to call him a monster, but the one guy that was like in the old school town in Arkansas that was like brainwashing people to live in basically like the 1950s.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, there was
Man,
that one.
that was
Where
a weird
Sam,
episode.
Sam was
Yeah.
taken in by that, and Castiel had to save him.
I was gonna
Oh,
say,
yeah, that episode was weird.
It
yeah,
was weird.
Sam with his hair pulled back was really weird. I gotta say that.
Oh, yes.
His forehead's too big for that. He should.
Yeah. Well, he was wearing like a dad cardigan too, and I was like,
Well,
yeah,
he
no.
had glasses too, didn't he?
Didn't he say the
Down
word
the
swell?
Yeah, I did. I think
Yeah.
I'd say swell. Yeah, there were only a couple. Most of them actually tied in pretty, at least a little bit.
I think it would have been better if Dean would have been the one that would have been in the 50s.
Jack tried to befriend some local kids,
Yeah,
and then he almost killed them with an angel blade.
they did. He just
Oh,
got it
yeah.
back.
Mm-hmm.
Way to show off with your dad's gun, Jack.
That did feel like it had a larger social context going for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there were not a ton of Monsters of the Week, so that's probably why we didn't mention them, Nick. But we just mentioned them now. Oh boy. Here's the question: are you gonna keep watching?
Yeah, you have to.
Yep.
Yeah. At
Yes.
this point, you have to. Yeah.
Well,
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
Because you okay. So,
because I need something to complain about.
well, and this is what I asked the DCTU series because they have such highly mixed feelings on the shows.
And that's the penultimate too.
well for Arrow.
Right.
Yeah. Are you watching Supernatural because you have to or because you want to?
I want to see. I do want to see how it ends. I'm hoping that it's leading to somewhere and something that they've planned out. I've already said this, I think, 3 times. I enjoyed watching this season. So, again, like Arrow, I didn't really enjoy it that much, and I just want to get to the end of it to see everything that happens. This one, I think this show has earned watching it through the end, and I don't think the missteps were...
Yeah.
I don't know, Mary's death, we've talked about. There are some really big things that were a problem, but I want to see how it ends.
I want to see how it ends. I wouldn't say I have to, though, because I'm producing this thing. How about the rest of you? Want to or have to?
1-2 for me.
I think I'm watching it when I'm watching it because I have to, but I would watch it regardless anyway. It just probably wouldn't have been so high up my list.
So you sort of want to.
I want to, but I'm moving it forward because I have to.
Jen and Kelsey?
I think I'm kind of both, honestly, because like I do want to see the series finale. I want to see like how the whole thing ends, but like by the time I'm watching it to try and get to that point, it feels, at least for some of the episodes, especially with this last part of the season, it felt like it was a bit of a chore to have to watch to get to that point.
Kelsey, have to, want to?
Both, because I am a compulsory completionist, so I have to. But also, I want to. Yeah, I want to. I mean, I have to know how it ends. And my friend and I are bringing back our tradition of boys' night, and we have T-shirts with Dean on them, and we're gonna wear them and watch it every week. So it's happening.
Well, that's good. That means
Yeah.
that means we'll probably finish this series despite our rather lukewarm reception to season 14. I mean, it really has been kind of mixed and diverse. I know for me, I want to see what the end is too, because I've put in this much time. I am a completionist, but I have loved it for the most part. I mean, really I have. There's only been a few missteppy places. I would argue this is one of them, but hopefully it'll get better, it will rebound, it will go out with a huge bang, and then we can all be happy that we spent so much time watching Supernatural. And also, Jensen, personal opinion of course, is fine. So, whatever will happen, I want to see him, because I have to say that at least once an episode. So, other than what we have already said, is there anything else you wish to say about season 14 or what you hope to see in season 15?
Maybe it'll just end with, like, Dean and Sam just shirtless at the end and cut to black.
That would be okay.
I would take that. I will look at the
Just complete fan service.
I vote yes. all is acceptable, but probably not realistic.
Damn.
I know. But we'll leave the podcast episode on that note so everybody can have shiny, happy thoughts of shirtless Dean and Sam. Or whatever you want. It doesn't have to be
Rowena
them. Equal opportunity. So, because we've talked about Supernatural Season 14B, right now I'd like to thank Jeremy, Jen S., Jen K., Kelsey, and Nick for joining me to talk about Supernatural, such as that talk was. And because we've had that talk, it is now time to roll the spooky credits. Couch Potatoes Unite! Was produced by Back Pocket Productions, run by yours truly, the Chief Couch Potato, which is really another way of saying executively produced by me, Kylie Piette. My associate producers are Krista Pennington and Selene Rezmer. I edit this podcast, and our logo is by Rebecca Wallace. Our marketing graphic artist is Krista. Our theme song was written by Sarah Milbratz and sung by Sarah, Amy McDaniel, and Kelsey Rezmer. Kelsey played the keyboard, Ian McDonough played the bass, Christian Somerville played the guitar, and the whole kit and caboodle was engineered and produced by Kyle Aspinall and Christian. We hail from Grand Rapids, Michigan. Please, if you like what you hear, take the time to rate us on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, or Google Play, or wherever you find your podcasts. Give us stars, give us comments, give us reviews. Let us know how we're doing. Send us a message. We might just read it on the podcast. Tell us what you like, what you don't like, what we should keep, what we should toss. You know how it goes. And if you have suggestions on shows we might consider, contact us at our website, couchpotatoesunite.wordpress.com, where we have a guest book, by email at couchpotatoesunitepodcast@gmail.com, or via our social media, Facebook, Twitter at CPU Podcast, and Instagram at Couch Potatoes Unite. Though, of course, we add new and old shows to chat about around the water cooler all the time. We always have several more new episodes coming down the pike. Just listen to our intros, and if you miss old episodes or want to know in general what we cover, just find us. We are everywhere and searchable wherever you look for things on the internet. You can search for us, or you can subscribe at our website, our channels, our social media accounts. Stay up on our new events and episodes. Until the next time, Supernatural is available to stream in its entirety on Netflix through the end of season 14, which is very fortunate. You can double check how we're feeling about it for your own eyes. In the meantime, again, our Supernatural panel will next reconvene following the 15th. That is the final season, mid-season finale, sometime this winter, most likely, in January of 2020. So until next time, until next episode, new episodes are published every Wednesday. Keep listening, keep watching, stay tuned!
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.